That fella couldn't do anything. He couldn't even kneel to pray. And he got saved. Are you saved? That fella couldn't join the church. He couldn't join the church. He couldn't get baptized. He couldn't get baptized. He woke up with God. He woke up with the devil. Are you saved? So that fella didn't take the sacraments, didn't take the sacraments. Didn't say the rosary, didn't take the rosary. Didn't tithe, didn't tithe. He went to heaven, he went to hell. You saved? Didn't keep the law, he didn't keep the law. He broke the commandments, he broke the commandments. He didn't keep the golden rule, he didn't keep the golden rule. He woke up in glory, he woke up in the pit. Are you saved? You're saved. If you're not saved, you're over here or you're over here. You sure ain't in the middle. He said, Lord, remember me, thou comest thy kingdom. And Jesus turned to him and said, verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be saved. It's like that. You have been saved? If you ever saved, you were saved like that.
All right. In this video, I want to talk about this video here, where apparently it was my only video that was muted. It's strange because I thought YouTube muted it. And then I went and checked out the TikTok version, it was muted. Went to Bitchute, it was muted. And I was kind of like, all right, let me go back into my files, dig it out. And it was muted. And I was like, why is this my only video that's muted? And it's weird. And it was a video about, be careful about what you say and do. So maybe I made a mistake. Or maybe something else happened. I don't know. I find it strange. I'm not going to lie. Because I'm pretty consistent. And I don't recall this happening before. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, basically what I was talking about in this video was saying that you got to be careful about how you talk about this subject, because you don't want to do something foolish here, because we're on the cusp of a dispensation change, and you don't want to be calling out the synagogue of Satan and those who claim to be Jews and are not right at the dispensation change, where you get raptured and people remember the things you say, and then you are planting seeds of anti-Semitism so that when you leave, they end up wanting to fight against Israel, the Hebrews, the Jews, when they ought not to do such a thing. Because at the rapture, the dispensation changes, and God is going to go back to dealing with the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. And you don't want to plant seeds of anti-Semitism, because if they fight against them during this time, they're fighting against God, right? And they got to understand that it's about God's mercy and grace. It's not because Israel deserves it and has earned it and everything like that. It's because God made promises, and he's going to fulfill those promises. Like he tells us in Ezekiel, I do this not for your sake, Israel, but for my name's sake, my name that you have actually profaned among the heathen, right? I'm doing it for me, not for you. Even though you get the blessings out of it, you get the benefits of it, it's not for you. And as Christians, we should understand this completely and totally, where we get an abundance of God's mercy and grace, where we deserve death and hell, but instead for somehow we get heaven, right? Because God is very merciful and gracious. So we should share that same mercy and grace with Israel, and we need to understand that we fight a spiritual fight, not a physical fight, right? So we shouldn't get it caught up in this physical battle here in this world, right? We have a spiritual fight where we're trying to win over people's souls, right? But too many of us are trying to get caught up in the distractions of the physical battles going on in this world, and we've been choosing sides and even fighting in this. And we're just completely wasting our time, focused, and energy. Right? So, I don't know if this is playing. It is playing. I didn't mean for it to be playing while I was doing this. But I just realized that thing was circled. But anyway, what else I ended up talking about in this video is that you see in the center there how I have that 6 pointed star there, that we see that symbol, which is a double cross, right? You know, double cross means a backstab. And we see this on the flag of England. And England claims to be from the tribe of Dan, right? And Dan, their original symbol, which they changed to an eagle, was a scorpion. And a scorpion, when it stings you, it leaves a mark that looks like lips, like you've been kissed, right? And we know Jesus was betrayed with a kiss, right? He's backstabbed, double-crossed by Judas, who gave him a kiss, like a sting from a scorpion, right? And we read about in the Old Testament how Dan, the prophecy about him from his father Jacob was that he's going to be like a serpent that backbites. And when you go to Revelation chapter 7, of the 12 tribes that are sealed, there's 12,000 from each tribe that are sealed. Of the 144,000, the tribe of Dan is not mentioned. Very interesting. Dan also means judge. And our law system, the Bar Association, all comes from England. And it's supposed to be based off of common law, but they've completely moved over to Roman Admiralty law. And I think it's interesting that they have this six-pointed star there on their flag. And they went and they colonized North America through the United States and Canada. And the United States also has on the dollar bill the six-pointed star made up of a bunch of five-pointed stars. That's kind of weird and interesting. But it's weird that they got that same symbolism there. And what's strange is that when the United States was being established, they were basically telling the people that they were creating a new Israel, right? Creating a whole new Israel. And then they slowly took out the populace that was there, basically saying that they were like the Canaanites, and they were just taking the promised land for themselves because God gave it to them, and they get to take it from these heathens because that's the loving Christian thing to do. And it's a weird mindset they had. Even with the American Revolution, which I call the Catholic Revolution, they dressed up as Native Americans when they did the Boston Tea Party, as if they were trying to get England to help take out Native Americans. Interesting that they would do such a thing. You know, especially when they were just brave men trying to fight against the tyrants of England. But, yeah. Strange stuff there, how it was this colony that took the land from the natives. Completely took over and is complaining about immigration now and stuff. Weird stuff. But England also did the same thing with Australia, sending its prisoners over there. We're just going to dump our prisoners off in your land, and you're going to have to deal with them. And then those people slowly ended up taking over Australia, turned that into another little colony. And I think even New Zealand might have that six-pointed striped pattern on their flag too, if I remember correctly. But I can't quite remember. But anyway, it's interesting that, you know, you got the six-pointed stars on these things. It's almost like you're building up the sixes to get 666 or something like that. I don't know. But it's weird that the same thing, right? Europeans moving into another area in the Middle East, establishing what looks to be another European colony, right? And it completely and totally looks like that, and I completely understand. And I had other channels that I've made talking about things like this banned, because I was saying, hey, it looks just like a European colony doing the same tactics as they've done. Because I like to look at history to see how it repeats itself right in front of everybody's face and they don't learn from it. And it was done with the United States and Canada, done with Australia, and now it's being done over there, where it was England who actually had rights to the land over there and did the Balfour Declaration to help start to make Israel a nation in the Middle East. Now, I'm not against Israel. I'm not against them having the land. I'm not saying, hey, get out. But I understand people's frustration and wanting to fight against these people. But at the same time, the people that are around him, I don't think they're innocent. So I just stay out of it for the most part, right? I think both sides are jackasses, just like in politics, the left and right, a bunch of jackasses. None of them represent me. I'm not choosing the lesser of two evils. No, because when you vote, you're consenting to whoever wins. So even if you pick what you think is the lesser of two evils and then the other person wins, you just consented to it. That's just dumb, right? So, no, I stay out of it. But you don't want to be fighting against these people. That's why I'm trying to be careful about what I'm saying here, because I don't want you to hate Israel. Because if you're going to hate Israel, then you have to hate America, you have to hate Australia, you have to hate England. Right? You have to follow through with that. You have to hate them all. You have to be against them all. Right? And if you think Israel should get out, well then the Australians should go back to Europe, and so should the Americans. Right? You got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. But you don't think that should happen, so then maybe you should shut up about it. Because you're being a hypocrite, and you're encouraging this anti-Semitic rhetoric. Right? You're building it up and supporting it, whether or not directly or not. You're indirectly and maybe unintentionally doing so by calling all this stuff out. And if you're focused so much on this, and then the people around you notice that you got raptured, you planted some big seeds to get them to fight against these people, which was going to lead to their damnation. Because when you read Matthew 25, there's 3 parables, and the last parable is about when Jesus returns, after the time of Jacob's trouble, when Israel repents and turns to Jesus because of all the people that come against them, because of the anti-Semitism, and they end up calling on Jesus. He comes back, he saves them from the people who are trying to destroy him. So you don't want anybody on that side there getting destroyed by Jesus. And in Matthew 25 there, that parable, he separates the sheep from the goats based on how they treated his brethren, which would be his kinsmen, the Jews, the Hebrews. So by the end of the world, you don't want to be mistreating these people, even if they deserve it. You got to let God deal with his own. You don't take it into your hands. And if they wrong you, you patiently endure it and bring it to God. Being like, hey, your people are treating me like shit. You should do something about it. This isn't fair. And let God deal with it. And let him right it. But if you are not patient and you want to take matters in your own hands, it's not going to end well for you. So hopefully I handled this well enough. But, yeah, it's interesting that they're all using this 6-pointed star here that looks like a double cross. Just kind of weird. It's kind of weird how England is also pushing for the whole digital ID, pushing for a digital currency. They seem to be the first ones stepping out with this. Well, I think some other countries have done. They just haven't talked about it. But they seem to be the biggest ones getting headlines about it. And what people need to understand is that England, France, China, and I think some other nations own at least half the debt of the United States. So the United States basically has to submit to them for the most part and can't leave the UN and all this stuff. They're going to follow suit, and that's why America has been slowly changing. Because it's been bought and owned by foreigners. And they know that the people aren't going to go along with it, so they've just been slowly leading people along with it. And that's why in America they're dumbing down the education system, they're destroying diets, and they're getting you to doom scroll and destroy your attention spans where you can't sit through a video like this. But anyway, hopefully this one has audio. Thank you for your time. Alright, it's the end of the video. And I figured I would do an ending segment to my video so I don't have to keep repeating myself. But I do want to remind you to do what Isaiah said to do and seek out the book of the Lord and read it, putting line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, doing what Paul said, and studying the word, showing yourself approved unto God, rightly dividing the word of truth. And if you read English, that would be the KJV. And then do what John has Jesus recorded telling the church of Philadelphia, and keep his word, preserve it, protect it, hide it in your hearts, and not deny his name. And then Jesus will never be able to tell you you do err not knowing the scriptures, and he'll keep you from the hour of temptation, which is going to come upon all those that dwell upon the earth here shortly. And with that being said, I'd like to ask you for your support. You watching the video all the way to the end helps out a lot, but if you could like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share the video, share the channel, interact in the comments section. These things help out a lot, especially with people telling me that their likes are not being registered, that they get unsubscribed, and all kinds of other ways being shadow banned. Your help in this way was greatly appreciated. And if you're able to give me a little bit more time and pray to our Heavenly Father that he keeps this ministry going and he uses it to reach those who he wants to reach, to get the truth out to the world, to make it a bright light, and to feed his sheep, to feed his children, even to bring forth more children, and that he would watch over all of us, his born-again believers, and take care of us, provide for us, and protect us, even after he comes and gets us, which looks like it's going to be real soon. And just to amen in Jesus' name to that should be all we need. But if you could help out some more, I know times are rough and they look like they're getting rougher, but if you're able to support financially, there's a few ways you can do so in the info description box, such as PayPal, Venmo, and there's a couple other ways you can support if you so choose to do so, which would make sure I can keep this ministry going longer than the foreseeable future, because this kind of support has been drying up there. It's pretty much non-existent lately. So if you could help out in that way, it would be greatly appreciated to make sure I can keep doing this. But if you could at least pray, I know God will provide. And sometimes it's a change of ministry, so maybe it won't be a ministry online anymore. But hey, if you want to keep seeing this stuff, pray. And with all that being said, thank you so much again for your time and attention, for watching this video all the way through. I appreciate it. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one, and may God bless you and yours.